Hello, students of class 9. I hope you are finding this climate chapter quite interesting. I'll be telling you some new points about the climate of the world. Though we are doing of India, I will tell you some little bits of point there. So, children, today, first let me tell you the names of some of the instruments which are used to measure the different elements of weather and climate, though it is not given in your book, but you must know them for your general knowledge. Okay, children. So, first let me start with temperature. So, temperature, you all know, children, that every day we are having this maximum and minimum temperature, and this temperature is measured with the help of thermometers. And very recently, we have these sensors to measure the temperature. But the temperature here is that is measured is the air temperature of the air. So when we are measuring with the help of thermometers, we have to keep it hanging in the air. We cannot keep it on the ground, because children, the heat of the ground will then be absorbed by the thermometer. We are concerned with the atmosphere, with the air. All the changes of the atmosphere is studied under the topic climate. So, children, at 4 o'clock in the morning, the air becomes coolest, and after that, the sun rises. When the sun rises, it starts heating up. The heating starts from the land surface. The land surface gets heated up, and then the air that is there in contact with the land surface gets heated up, and then just the layer above it and the above it. So the heat is transmitted from the ground to the layer of air touching it, and then it is transported upwards. Slowly and slowly the heat is transmitted upward. So the lowest layer of air is heated up maximum, and the layer of air which is above, they are cooler. So throughout the day, the land transmits the heat. It continues heating, and at 3 p.m., children, in the afternoon, 3 p.m., the air is hottest. So I had already said before also in my previous video that the maximum temperature is taken at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, when the air gets maximum heated up. And after, children, sunset, now it's the time for the heat to escape from the earth's surface. So this is known as radiation. The earth's surface, the heated land surface, and everything that is there, like for example all the construction, the buildings and all, which now no longer gets the supply of heat as the sun has set, now they start losing heat. So the heat that has heated up during the daytime now starts escaping back into the space, and the term that is used is radiation. And this escape of heat starts after sundown, that is after sunset, and it continues. The heat escapes throughout the night, and at 4 o'clock the air is coolest. Now any day when there is cloud cover, you will find that you feel very uncomfortable. There is lot of perspiration, lot of humidity. Why? Because the heat cannot escape because of the cloud cover. The heat does not escape. In the desert area, children, the daytime is very hot, but the night time is very cool, because the sky is clear, there is no cloud cover, and the heat escapes very fast at night. And so the thermometer measures the temperature once in morning, that is at 4 a.m. before sunrise, and it again measures the temperature at 3 p.m. when the air is hottest, maximum temperature at 3 p.m. And then children, we have this rain gauge which measures the rainfall, and the snow gauge to measure the snowfall. Now you'll be surprised children, in the newspaper we always find that the amount of rainfall is measured in centimeter or millimeter. The main reason is that the rain gauge has a glass beaker. It's a graduated glass beaker. When we have this graduated glass beaker, the measurement is written there in millimeter and centimeter, just like we have it in a scale. In the ruler or the scale, it is written in millimeter, centimeter. In the same way, in a glass beaker, you must have seen in the chemistry lab children a glass beaker. So a transparent glass beaker is fitted with a funnel. Like for example children, when we put oil when to any can, when we transfer oil to any can, we use a funnel shaped thing just at the mouth of the bottle. So that funnel is there fitted in the graduated beaker, and the funnel must be tightly fitted in such a way so that no extra water can enter the beaker from the side. Okay, now what it is expected, that the area which is receiving rainfall, that is a flat plain area, and all the outlets of the area is closed, like all the drains are closed. And if the rain water is allowed to stand there, then what will happen? The height of the rain water that will collect in any surface, we will find that the same height of water has collected in the beaker. So it is an assumption, it is just a thinking or an assumption that the rainwater is made to stand in that particular area, in that particular surface, and there is no absorption by the soil, or there is no runoff on the surface. The water is not just flowing away, and the rainwater is made to collect, and there is no outlet for the water, no absorption by the soil. Then the amount of rainfall that will collect there, the rainwater that will collect there, the same amount of rainwater will collect in the beaker. So we find that the rainfall is always mentioned in millimeter or centimeter. So rain gauge is there for measuring rainfall, and snow gauge is there for measuring snowfall. Previously, children, for measuring snowfall, what they used to do, in a tailor's shop, you must have seen a long scale where this millimeter, centimeter is marked. So at different places, this scale used to be inserted where snowfall has occurred, and the height of different places are taken, and the averaging is done, and we get the amount of snowfall. But now we are having snow gauge. Similarly, for measuring air pressure, we are having this barometer. We have this 14's barometer, Android barometer for measuring air pressure. For measuring humidity is how much moisture is there in the air. Children, we have this hygrometer for measuring humidity. Similarly, for measuring wind direction, we have this wind vane. You have studied from the junior classes, children, that it is A cock is there at the top and arrows are there at the base, and according to the direction of the wind vane will move. Now for measuring wind speed, we have this anemometer. Anemometer is the instrument for measuring wind speed. And finally, there is an instrument which is known as ceilometer. 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 Do you know what for is it used? It is used for measuring the height of clouds from the ground level. So from the ground level, at what height the cloud is there, so that is measured with the help of the instrument known as ceilometer. So these are the different instruments which are used to measure the different elements of weather on climate. Though it is not included in your syllabus of class 9 CBSE, but you must know the name of these instruments which are used by the weather or the meteorological department to measure the different elements of weather and climate. Now children, before entering deeper into the chapter, I would like to explain to you few facts related to weather and climate. Now children, in this chapter we will study about the condition of the atmosphere. The other term that we use is air or atmosphere. So here there is some basic concept. Children, you must be using this term pressure. So what is pressure? It is air pressure or the atmospheric pressure. Similarly, very commonly we use the term wind. So wind and air is something different. Now children, in case of wind, there are three types of wind here in the world. There are some wind which blow throughout the year in a particular direction. Now for this children, we have winds which are named as trade winds, which are known as westerly winds. Now when I go deeper into the chapter children, I will explain everything, that what are trade winds, what are westerly winds. Now these winds, they blow throughout the year in a particular direction. They are known as permanent winds. There are some winds which are blowing during a particular season. Like for example, you will find that we have this loo, which is a wind which blows during a particular season. They will not blow throughout the year. They are seasonal wind. Or the monsoon wind, which will blow during the monsoon season or the rainy season. Similarly children, there are some winds which are blowing only in particular areas. Like for example, along the sea coast you will find sea breeze and land breeze. Similarly children, you will find that in the mountain and the valley areas we have mountain wind, we have valley winds. They are local winds. So some winds are blowing all over the world in a particular direction. So they are known as permanent wind. There are some winds which blow during a particular season. They are seasonal winds. And there are some winds which blow in a certain locality or certain area, and they are known as local wind. Now let us know the difference between the air and the wind. What is air and what is wind? Now here children, you can see I have written vertical movement. So vertical movement of air, it will be vertical movement of air. Let me write with the vertical movement of air. So when it is vertical movement of air, it is known as simply air or it is known as air current. For example, children, we all know that when air gets heated up, it rises up. Hot air will always rise up, and it is known as air or air current. So, air is always applied when the air is moving up. But then what is wind? Now, wind is horizontal movement from one place to another. It is not vertical movement, children. So, when horizontal movement of air is there, it is known as wind. For example, Loo is there, monsoons are there, land breeze is there, sea breeze is there. So, when the air just moves horizontally from one place to another, it is known as wind. And when it rises up, when the hot air rises up, it is known as air or air current. And when the movement is from one place to another, it is known as wind. Like the sea breeze blows from sea to land, or land breeze blows from land to sea. Now, children, I will do the main portion, that how the wind moves. So, before I come to the climatic factors, I will tell you that how the wind moves and how the air pressure will be there according to the season. Children, now let me come to pressure. Now, pressure is influenced by two factors. One is height of a place, the other factor is temperature. Okay, there are two factors that influence the temperature. So, one is height of a place, the other one is temperature. Now, see children, a person, there are two persons. One person is standing in the plain area, the other person is standing on a hilltop. So, a person who is standing in the plain area, he is having the entire height of air above him. A person who is standing on the hilltop is not having any air in the lower portion above him, only the portion that is above, that is there on him. So, here there is less air, so the pressure will be low, and here there is more air, so pressure will be high. So, a person who is at a higher altitude, you see it is inverse relation. When the altitude is high, when the height is more, so high height, the pressure will be low. When the height is less, that is less height, the pressure will be high. So, just inverse relation, less height, high pressure, high height, low pressure. So, this is less height, high pressure, because there is more air above him, and here there is low pressure because there is less air. So, I have written here high height, more height, low pressure, and less height, high pressure, because there is more air. Similarly, children, the other factor is temperature. Let me see how temperature influences. Now, in case of temperature, children, what happens in winter season? The air is very cold. The cold, dense air will settle down. It will set down. So, there will be more air. See, cold, dense air settles down. That is, there will be more air in any particular place. So, in the winter, the pressure will be high. And in case of summer season, what happens? The air becomes more hot. From the early morning, it is heated up more. So, the hot air is lighter, and so light air will always move up. Hot air is lighter and hot air will always move up. So, when it will move up, there will be less air. So, less air means low pressure. So in case of temperature, children, what will be the relation? So more temperature leads to low pressure. So more temperature, or here you can also write high temperature. High temperature is there in the summer season, and when there is low temperature, that is in the winter months, the pressure will be high. Here also, children, you can find the relationship is just inverse. Low temperature, high pressure. And here high temperature, low pressure. In both the cases, the relationship is just the opposite. This you have to keep in mind. So children, I have told you about the pressure, how temperature and height of the place influences pressure. Now what is the relation? Why have you told this thing? Because wind will always blow from the areas of high pressure to the areas of low pressure. High pressure means more air, low pressure means less air. So if the wind blows from low pressure area to high pressure area, what will happen? In the areas where low pressure means there is less air, so that area will become a vacuum, empty, there will be no air in it. But if the wind blows from the high pressure area, means where the air is more, from that area to the places where the air is less, then there will be balance in the atmosphere. Always the wind will blow from the high pressure areas to the low pressure areas. So a balance or equilibrium is created in the atmosphere. So next in my next video, children, I'll start with climatic controls. I have said all this just because I wanted to create a backdrop of climatic controls. Now it will be very easy for you all to understand climatic controls. Thank you, children. Have a nice day. See the video several times in order to understand the concept better. Thank you. Have a nice day.